Macon versus Warner Robins. Which one is actually winning the Battle of Middle Georgia? Mischa Thompson here with The Real Broker. Welcome back to another video. If you are new to me or new to this channel, consider subscribing and turning that notification bell on to stay up to date with all the latest videos I upload. And today we're gonna talk about Macon or Warner Robins. Which is the city for you? So let's check it out. Real quick, before we start the video, when we talk about both of those cities, they're so close together, but so different. Just population-wise, Macon is almost double the size of Warner Robins with 152,000 people living in the Macon area. While in the Warner Robins area, we only have 78,000 people, but Warner Robins is rapidly growing. That includes Warner Robins, Centerville, Byron, Kathleen, and Bon Air. The mass of people living in those cities does impact some of the categories we're gonna talk about. And one of them is shopping. Yes, shopping. For families, shopping is important. Macon just has more. I mean, we do have Lowe's, Home Depot, we have Walmart, Publix, Kroger's, a bunch of mom and pop retail stores here in Warner Robins. Multiple of them. Macon in general is bigger and has more retail stores. The Macon Mall has more stores than the Warner Robins Mall. The Warner Robins Mall is almost empty. We all wish there was more going on at that mall, and it's just not. And then on top of that, Macon has a Sam's Club. Come on, people. Why doesn't Warner Robins have a Costco? Everyone wants a Costco. Put in the comments below if you like a Costco, because I know there was a rumor that Warner Robins is getting a Costco and everyone was super hyped up about it, and then I don't know what happened with it. Nevertheless, there is more shopping opportunity in Macon, Georgia than there is in Warner Robins, and therefore Macon gets this point. Macon 1, Warner Robins 0. The second category is nightlife and entertainment, which includes bars and nightclubs. Warner Robins does have a couple of bars. There is the new rooftop bar at the Best Western Hotel next to Rigby's, which is beautiful. It's amazing out there. It's not the cheapest, but it's a great addition to Warner Robins. There are a couple of other bars. When it comes to bars and nightclubs, Macon has the upper hand once again. They got the Atlas Bar, the Late Night, France Lounge. They got more than Warner Robins has. I mean, for nightlife people, if you want to drive the 25 minutes to Macon, it's not a big deal to do so. For that reason, there are more bars and nightclubs in Macon, especially breweries. I mean, Macon has a bunch of breweries that you should visit, and they are fun, and it's not that far away. Nevertheless, when it comes to nightlife and entertainment, Macon gets that point, and it's to Macon. Warner Robins still 0. When it comes to things to do, just let's make that a category. I mean, things to do other than nightclubs and bars. In Warner Robins, you got Rigby's, you got the Museum of Aviation, which is one of the largest aviation museums in the nation. And I made a video about that. If you want to check it out later on, you're more than welcome to. Then there is Rigby's, that is a water park in the summer, and during the winter, they got indoor activities like laser tag, bowling, a roller ring. You can do arcades and all kinds of stuff there as well. I don't know if putt-putt and the go-kart track are open during the winter time, but those are things to do. When it comes to festivals, there is not that much going on, festivals and events here in Warner Robins. Yes, the state fair is closed, but it's in Perry, so it doesn't really count to Warner Robins. Then you got the Food Truck Festival in Perry, which also doesn't count to Warner Robins. And when we look at Macon, there's so much different festivals. I mean, there's the Jazz Open Jam, there is the Christmas tree lighting extravaganza, there is the International Cherry Blossom Festival, there are brewery festivals, there's museum festivals, and they got a bunch of museums, a bunch of parks where always something is going on. And I linked their event calendar in the description below. So therefore, again, when it comes to things to do, you don't have far to Macon, but Macon definitely wins that one. It's now Macon 3 and Warner Robins is still 0. The next category is schools, and that is a very important category for all families out there. People who are moving here, got a job offer, they look into schools if they have a family with kids. That is just the way it goes. And when we look at niche.com, greatschools.org, all those rating websites, Macon doesn't look so good, honestly. From those websites, Macon has an average school rating of 5 out of 10. While Warner Robins in the Houston County School District district has an average rating of 9 out of 10, which is almost perfect. And according to those sites, Houston County High School as well as Veterans High School are one of the best rated high schools in the state of Georgia. So therefore, when it comes to schools and their ratings online, Warner Robins wins that one. Warner Robins 1, Macon 0, but Macon is still up 3-1. The fifth category is housing. And when we look at housing, it is a little different. Warner Robins is almost $50,000 more expensive when it comes to the average home price. $230,000 right now. Macon is at $183,000. All the prices went up over the last years. We all know that our prices don't drop as much as in other areas right now because of Robins Air Force Base, just no inventory in general. And as a real estate agent, I work in both markets, so I've seen it all. The thing is, that even though Macon is cheaper when it comes to the average home price, the Warner Robins home price is bumped up by Kathleen and Bonaire. With all of their new developments of bigger houses, the average home price got lifted up quite a bit. So Macon should get the point for pricing because their average home price is just almost $50,000 cheaper. On the other side, you got Kathleen and Bonaire within Warner Robins that bumped the price up quite a bit with all the new construction that is going on here in the new developments. But for what you can get for your money, Warner Robins should get the point. So therefore, I call it a draw and give Macon 1 and Warner Robins 1. So the new score is 4-2. Category number 6 is the walkability. And I'm a big fan of walkable cities, inner cities where you can walk from shop to shop and then sit down at a restaurant when you're done. Window shopping, I know that there are people out there who don't give a darn about walkability. They like to drive everywhere they go. That is what you have to do in Warner Robins. There is no walkable inner city yet. Maybe you're gonna develop something down the road. I think there were talks about that, but who knows when that's gonna happen. When we look at Macon, you can walk downtown Macon. You can window shop at those mom and pop stores, sit down at a restaurant. You don't have to drive. You park your car and you walk. Therefore, Macon definitely wins the walkability score, and Macon is up 5, Warner Robins 2. Doesn't look too good for Warner Robins. Like I said, walking to a restaurant, category number 7 is restaurants, and I can tell you there are a bunch of in Macon. Breweries, burger restaurants, they have a lot. Warner Robins does or has invested a lot in scaling up their food game, but it's really burger chains and fast food restaurants. And I don't call those restaurants because it's just fast food. McDonald's and Burger King and Captain D's, those are not restaurants to me personally. And that's my opinion. I'm from Europe. Restaurants are something different over there than they are here. But we do have a bunch of restaurants here in Warner Robins. Japanese, Chinese, Indian food, Greek food, Mexican food. We got a variety here in the international city. Overall, we do have more restaurants here in Warner Robins than they do have in Macon, even though Macon is bigger. Therefore, Warner Robins gets a point. It's now Macon 5 and Warner Robins 3 points. Last category is the general cost of living, which includes the transportation, car insurance, gasoline, groceries, and so on. Warner Robins is actually pretty cheap. I mean, Warner Robins is about 21% points cheaper than the national average. 21%! The national average is 100, Warner Robins is 79. And Warner Robins is even 15% points cheaper than the Georgia average. So Warner Robins is great. But then there's Macon. Macon's cost of living is even cheaper than Warner Robins. I mean, that is cheap. I cannot deny it. Cost of living in Macon is cheaper, and therefore Macon takes that last point, which brings up our final score of the Battle of the Cities, Macon versus Warner Robins. 6 for Macon and 3 for Warner Robins. I probably could go on and on with some more categories and squeeze some more points out of Warner Robins, but in the end, those categories that I chose are factual. Housing prices are more expensive here in Warner Robins than in Macon. Cost of living is more expensive here in Warner Robins than it is in Macon, just a slither. There is more to do. There are more festivals in Macon, but would I personally live in Macon? I love the Warner Robins area, and I could never see myself live in Macon. Honestly, I like going there for festivals, but that's it. Let me know what you think. What's your favorite? Do you like Macon better, or do you like Warner Robins better? I hope you really enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment, smash that like button, destroy it. And if you want to see what is there to do in Macon, you gotta check out this video right here. I'll see you in the next one.